Welcome once again to our Stories series. Today's one more round of collecting an incredible story. And we have the privilege of visiting with Moe and Kelly Morris. This is exciting for me, anxious for you.
Okay.
It's going to be so good. Moe, I'm just going to start out with you. But share a little bit about your background, where you grew up, what your home was like. Give us a little bit.
I grew up in a small town of Baghdad, Arizona. We grew up a happy family. We didn't attend church as a family. My mom would talk to us about Christ and everything, about God. And that's pretty much how we did it.
It's kind of a traditional family.
Yeah, I knew there was a God.
Right.
I just didn't know the impact it played in my heart, you know.
Yeah, you wrote that down, that you believed there was a God, but you didn't know what it meant to be a believer.
Yeah.
Kel, you used words I've not heard you use before. You grew up in a divided household. Give us some background.
So my mom was religious. She did go to church. She attended. She had a super strong faith. And my dad just wasn't. He kind of just went along with the flow. And he was just a hard man.
So you guys both, your story's so unique, and it's where we say, wow, God really has a good plan. It's crazy that he took really your stories and you met on this softball field. But Moe, in part of your story up to that meeting on the softball field, you went through a divorce that wasn't pleasant. Kelly, what was your view of marriage? With a divided house, did you think, there's no way I'm going to go through this kind of a angry dad, husband?
Yeah, I think that I decided that it would be better to do life alone and, no children, none of those things. That it would just be better to be on my own and independent than to be stuck in turmoil.
Yeah, it's big of a deal for Moe to get past the pain. It's a big deal for you to decide, okay, we're going to try marriage. And you didn't want children. No children. And he had 4 children. How did you come to that, I'll use the word loosely, compromise, to marry into a family?
So his mom died in 2005,
Okay.
And I was on a plane to Denver for work, and I got to watch him suffer. From afar. It was really hard, and I knew at that point that I just had to move past it, and he stuck around for all of these years, all of this time, 9 years of dating, and it was just time to make it happen.
So to kind of lay down what you love for what you love even more.
Correct.
Kind of one of those decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this journey, and it's so cool that Tracy and I have been able to be a part of it. But then you guys get to this opportunity to adopt. You know our story. I love adoption. I think it's an amazing miracle. I love Romans 8 that says that we're made new by this spirit of adoption, and it's such a picture of what Christ does for us. I love the story of adoption. So coming alongside you guys in that story was incredible. Kelly, tell us how this story of adoption started.
I prayed against it for a year. I literally prayed that anything else would happen, that we would not be starting over. We had plans. We were set up for retirement. We were going to do all the things.
Right.
And then the phone call came in, and something had to be done. And we discussed it, and I didn't want to do it, but I would do it because I didn't want him to resent me later. And his conversation, his piece was, I want to do it, but I don't want you to resent me later. And so we were at an impasse of, well, neither one of us want to have the other one grow in resentment, but we want completely different things.
Moe, what was it in you that wanted to adopt these two little boys? You already had 4 children. It was a storied relationship with those 4 children, and you wanted to be a start over parent again.
I think for me, they were my grandkids, and I didn't want them to go in the system and not knowing where they were and how to be able to reach out to them if they needed me.
Yeah.
My daughter wasn't doing the right things, and that's basically where it was going because of the drugs, and we were going to lose them, and that's why I wanted to adopt them.
Yeah. So your grandchildren, so the kinship adoption, as it's called, besides never wanting to be a mom and not wanting your future plans imploded, what caused you to say, okay, this is it?
I knew that he ultimately needed a second chance, and so this is what you do.
Yeah. Wow. In that story of adoption over the last few years, what's been the impact of City Church, or where did you realize you had a community you could lean on in this journey?
I think it was through the adoption process, correct? It's tough. You have previous family commitments. You have previous established relationships.
Right.
You have a dynamic that already works, and so you have this extended. You have your immediate family, and then you have your extended family. And when something like this big happens, the opinions just come out of the wood. I mean, they just come from the seams. Everyone has something to say, and it's demeaning. There were so many just mean and negative things said. You know, we're doing this out of, love for the oldest daughter, out of love for the grandchildren, out of, orchestrating all of this. And the kids, by the time she was done, there was 8.
Wow.
One of them is in heaven. He was one of the twins. He just didn't make it. But the other 7 are with family.
Kelly, you're a very strong person, and I don't think I've ever heard you use the word regret. How's that walk with Christ helped you be so dialed in and not let the past be a shadow?
I think that every circumstance, every decision, every choice, we're responsible for those, and you only lose when you stop trying.
Yeah.
And so you just gotta go.
Yeah.
And every single thing that you survive makes you stronger.
That's right.
And it gives you an opportunity to share your story when someone else is walking through what you've walked through. You've walked through it and succeeded. You can now be a light when helping other people.
That's so good. For adult children, where are they now? How's that relationship?
We finally are establishing a relationship with my daughters. My son, I've always had a relationship with him, but they see that I wasn't such a bad dad.
They're just fun. They're, spoiler alert, they say all of the stages are the hardest, but adult children are 100% the hardest.
They are.
And so as much fun as they are, they also have helped us walk through very many firsts.
Yeah.
We've had very positive first, we've had very negative, first, but they're just fun. I have a solid relationship with all of them.
I was going to ask about that. After all this time, that's the story. That's, again, it brings us back to redemption. There's always second chances. Grace restores relationships. He's the God of reconciliation. And I'm confident that your adult children are where they are because you two are where you are with Christ. And they've been able to watch that be an example.
3 of the 4 have a relationship with Christ, and that's, when we met, that wasn't the case. And so that's part of it.
And that 4th one is just working on their testimony.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Mo, I'm going to ask you one last question. For the guy that's been in the similar walk, he's worked hard all of his life, had a broken marriage, hurtful relationships with children, new marriage, trying to do what's right, just trying to move forward in life. But life has thrown so much at you that there's clearly been times it's like, what's the point? I'd like to throw in the towel. If you had 1 minute to speak into that guy's life, what would you say to him?
Don't be afraid to give life a chance. I mean, you got to keep going. There's a lot to live for, and give God a chance to work in your lives to make you stronger people.
You just can't give up. I love that line. Kelly, as normal, most of our conversations, you get the last word. So we're gonna do that today. For that wife that's out there that is spinning all the plates, whether they have the same label or not, there's still 8 or 10 plates that every day get to be spun, and that she's considering walking out, she's considering giving up. What would be your encouragement to her if she had listened to this whole video and grabbed this last minute?
I would say resiliency is directly from God. Everything you survive, everything you walk through, no one knows the sphere of influence
Right.
that it will touch eventually. It's generations upon generations. So what you do today may be hard and it may suck, but your sphere of influence knows no bounds.
That's good. Thank you, guys. Thank you for so much. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for serving at City Church. Thank you for not quitting on City Church and Tracy and I. And thank you for letting us put your video out there.
Thank you.
And we're blessed to have you.
Thanks.
Thank you.